Raheem Sterling and Jadon Sancho swap deal rumours. Ivan Toney, whether it's Manchester United or Chelsea, are both fighting over his signature. Let's see what's going on in the transfer window connected to all clubs in the Premier League, as obviously the window is moving ever closer to its deadline day on Friday. Smash the like button, subscribe. Big up to you lot joining me on my second channel, DG Sports Views. Let me share my screen, stop the rambling, and let's see exactly what we have to speak about. There we have it. Chelsea consider Toney offer and hold talks over Sterling Sancho swap. Now, Chelsea, they've got so many attackers, but if they can get a tune out of Mudryk, if they can keep Nkunku and Pedro Neto fit, you get Toney, who is more of an organic striker, which seems that they're missing. They have some great collective options. And again, it's all big ifs, but I personally think the Chelsea project, provided Maresca does his job and is given time, as you've seen with alienating Jadon Sancho, they can actually, be with the Arsenals and Cities and talking about fighting for trophies, people. And it did look like Ivan Toney wouldn't be on the move. 1 minute it's Man United, then it's Chelsea, then it went dead. Now he was linked with the Middle Eastern clubs, and now he's been linked with the Premier League once again, as he has 1 year left on his deal and was left out of, to be honest with you, I can't remember the second game Brentford have played, but the opening day of the season. Brentford thought to want 50 million for the striker. Chelsea's pursuit of Osimhen stalls over wages. Chelsea, who are printing money more than the banks do, if you're asking for so much money, they're saying the deal doesn't make sense. What are you and your advisors doing? And Napoli, you gave him an extended contract on bigger wages. I'm sure they'd be happy from a sporting front to keep him, but surely he moves on, especially because it seems like Lukaku is going to be a Napoli player. Chelsea are weighing up whether to make an offer for Brentford's Ivan Toney as they attempt to sign a striker before the deadline day on Friday. The club have also held talks with Manchester United for a swap involving Raheem Sterling and Jadon Sancho. Toney has emerged as a potential solution for Chelsea after they failed to reach a breakthrough in talks with Napoli over Victor Osimhen. It's understood that although the Nigerian striker is keen on the move, Chelsea are not willing to match his wage demands. Napoli are close to signing Lukaku from Chelsea on a permanent deal. Toney was left out of Brentford's matchday squad on Sunday for the second week in succession after they rejected an offer of 35 million from Al Hilal. It's understood he has been offered a contract by the Saudi Arabian club worth a reported 16 million a year, but would prefer to stay in the Premier League. Brentford have thought to want 50 million for Toney, who has less than a year on his contract and has made no desire of his secret to want to leave. Chelsea are expected to test their resolve by making an initial offer significantly below the asking price. Toney would be expected to fit into the wage structure. Toney has been linked in the past with United and Arsenal. Head coach Maresca has made it clear that signing a striker is his priority, although the club are also attempted to move on high earners like Raheem Sterling and Ben Chilwell. Chelsea are open to taking Sancho on loan from United and sending Sterling in the opposite direction, and held discussions on Tuesday over a possible deal. Sancho, who is 5 years younger than Sterling, is also of interest to Juventus. Chilwell could also be offered as part of a move to for Sancho. Sancho's had Chelsea, Juventus, and PSG. The PSG ain't gone nowhere. Juventus could be a good move to Italy. Chelsea, again, he was a boyhood Chelsea fan. You stay in the Premier League. I don't know who is the preferred option on the left-hand side, but if they could get a tune out of Sancho, he's great. In terms of longevity, provided it transpired into a permanent offer, then obviously Jadon Sancho makes more sense than Raheem Sterling. For Raheem Sterling at Man United, I just think with Ten Hag, it's just square pegs in round holes, and they've been here before where they've made big money, high profile signings and they've not delivered, and that's the risk with Sterling. Obviously Sterling's a Premier League player, he's won the lot, he's been a key player for his club, for club and country, but if it doesn't work and you're paying some of his wages, even if you take him on loan, it's a hefty one really. Ben Chilwell has been made clear he is allowed to leave, people. Man United have held talks over a late deal allegedly to sign Toney as well, people, so which is great for Toney. You've got Man United, you've got Chelsea, you've got, I guess, the option of staying at Brentford, and 16 million a year in Saudi money, which could be tax-free. We'll have to see exactly what's going on, people, but United and Brentford have held talks. And I've said before, I think United and Chelsea could do with him. United, it makes sense. You've got Joshua Zirkzee and Højlund, who are young strikers, still learning, both got injury issues. Toney's Premier League proven, experienced. He's someone that could hit the ground running and help them in that regards. And I don't think Toney's a bad player, man. I'd have him at Arsenal. I don't think he'd be my first choice. Not that we've got many, but yeah, we've gone over Ben Chilwell. It's been made abundantly clear by Maresca that Chilwell is not in their regards. Wasn't he part of the captain's group at Chelsea? Obviously, he's won the Champions League there, but he probably is not a fit owing to the inverted role. Football's a funny old game of opinions. if the manager don't want you, there you have it. And as I said, I think Chelsea need to take a leaf out of, Arsenal's book, in a sense of, if that's what, rightly or wrongly, if the manager doesn't want Chilwell and Sterling, let him sign and work with players that the man actually wants. Juventus are still in talks with Jadon Sancho, and he's likely to leave Manchester United despite what Ten Hag said about them burying the hatchet. Liverpool are working to complete a deal on Chiesa from Juventus, people. Apparently, he's flying from Italy to England as we speak, and he could be available for 15 million euros. He has a year left on his deal until 2025. Thiago Motta has said he's not part of his plans, which Chiesa is a quality player. We all remember the Euros a few years ago. We all remember his time at Fiorentina, but are Juventus selling Liverpool a dodgy motor? I don't know. And, where you look at Jota's fitness, Chiesa's fitness, Luis Diaz's inconsistencies, with some Liverpool fans would agree. Obviously, you don't know what you're going to get in a positive and negative light with Darwin Núñez. There's a lot of attackers, but what are you actually going to get, people? For Liverpool, that could be decent. And for him, a 4-year deal is quite good. And they're making quite the hit, people, really and truly. They signed him for 50 million euros and they're selling him for about 13. So it's been made clear Chiesa's done. João Cancelo will not be returning to Barcelona. Neither will João Felix, who ironically plays for Chelsea now. João Cancelo was signed for Al Hilal in a 25 million euros deal, people, and it was made abundantly clear that he has no future over there. He will link up with fellow Portuguese man Ruben Neves, and a bunch of players who have played in the top European game. Neymar, Koulibaly, Milinkovic-Savic, Ruben Neves, and Mitrovic. And where you look at the Saudi clubs, they're actually starting to target I know that Gabby Vega went to Saudi Arabia, but they're starting to target younger players, particularly from Chelsea's academy, in which go get paid, man. If I'm with you, Chelsea. From Chelsea's one thing, Liverpool apparently have completed the signing of goalkeeper Marmadashvili from Valencia. Apparently he'll stay in Spain for the majority of the season. So they've got their long-term keeper for Alisson. And I mean, next season, will they alienate Alisson and he becomes the first choice, or will he remain the second choice goalkeeper until something happens? They've signed him for 25 million. He's got 13 clean sheets in 37 La Liga games last season, people. So I have to see exactly what's going ahead. They're planning ahead. And at some point, you can't have two goalies. We've seen it with Courtois and Petr Cech. We've seen it at Arsenal with Martinez and Leno and Ramsdale and Raya and a couple more. So we'll have to see. But Liverpool are doing what they're doing. Keeping up the theme with goalkeepers, Arsenal have been linked with Wolves' Dan Bentley. Could we be giving fuel to our fire as Wolves look close to an agreement on the Sam Johnson deal with Crystal Palace? Wolves, who tried to sign Ramsdale, probably it was too expensive for them. Brighton and Hove Albion have completed the 25 million signing of defender Ferdi Kalagoglu from Fenerbahce. He was linked with Arsenal and Manchester United. I'm keen to see how he gets on at Brighton, if I'm honest with you. Sancho Tonali's 10-month ban is set to be done soon, people. Manchester United's Hannibal has completed a move to Burnley. I don't rate him at all. Everton are in talks to sign former Nottingham Forest midfielder Malanga on loan from Lyon, which is probably a typical Everton signing. Kepa is to join Bournemouth on loan from Chelsea, another club that was sniffing around Aaron Ramsdale. Liverpool are considering a Tyler Morton loan offer from Bayern Leverkusen. Seems like Liverpool are flogging quite a few of their academy talents. Szczesny has announced his retirement from football. Obviously, Arsenal completed the signing finally of Mikel Moreno. Crystal Palace have completed, or better yet, agreed a fee with Maxime Lacrosse to join from Wolfsburg. Decent little centre-half he is, people, the 24-year-old. Crystal Palace need to replace Joshin Ancherson and potentially Mark Gurhey. So that's where that's concerned. Once again, Napoli have agreed a deal to sign Lukaku from Chelsea. I mean, every minute it feels like he's moving from club to club. He's played for Inter Milan, he played for Napoli, he's played for Roma. I might have missed out a lot. He's played and lived in some great places, Lukaku, man. So yeah. El Nasser have opened talks with Mohamed Simikan, people, in case the deal for Skriniar fails. He's someone I would have wanted at Arsenal once upon a time, people. Chelsea and Al Hilal are the only clubs in talks for Victor Osimhen, allegedly. AC Milan and Roma are apparently going to be in touch over a deal for Tammy Abraham, people, and Salamanca's could join in the opposite direction if that's the case. Kivior and his camp have been informed by Arsenal that despite interest from Bologna and Villarreal, you will be staying put at this moment in time. AC Milan would accept an offer of 25 to 30 million euros for Benassia, which is a bit of alarm flags because he's quite decent. Lunin's expected to leave Real Madrid on a free transfer next summer. Skriniar and El Nasser are apparently at an agreement. over signing Skriniar from PSG. It's not really worked out for him at Paris Saint-Germain. It seems like Luis Enrique isn't really keen. Newcastle and Man United are looking at a late move for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's out of contract at Everton next summer. AC Milan have reached an agreement over Manu Toney. He has an offer from Muchin. The offer to Mönchengladbach will be made as soon as Benasser is sold to Saudi Arabia. One out and one in. Manu Toney's stock's falling a bit after a great start to his professional career. So I have to see. Kingsley Coleman's agent has distanced himself from a move to the Middle East or any other club at this moment in time, folks. We've gone over the Chiesa business. Scott McTominay's agreed a move to Napoli, and Manuel Ugarte seems to be moving ever closer to signing for Manchester United. So in terms of the transfer news at this moment in time, that appears everything. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to both channels. And on that note, peace.